Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just ignore my little raspiness. It's pretty early in the morning for me. But I'm really excited to show you my new bracelet today. This is my Kris-Cross bracelet. And the name was chosen by Christy on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is Christy and Matt Edwards. So I want to thank her for choosing the name. And I also love how it's spelled K-R-I-S because her name and my name is both Christy. So it's really cute. I also want to give a big shout out to her daughter, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Sophie is a 6-year-old loomer. She's the youngest loomer that I know of that I've actually seen post my renditions. But I want to say hi to you, Sophie, and I'm so proud of you, and thank you so much for watching. So today's video, guys, you will need 152 bands total. The breakdown of that is 80 of the blue border, 36 of the gray, and 36 of the pink. This is the color combination style I'll be doing today, where I alternate between two colors. But I will tell you in the video how to get these looks if you decide you want them. Also, a quick side note before we get started. This bracelet is a 2-bar wide design. You need 6 bars total in order to get a full-length bracelet. I will be giving all instructions based on a full-length bracelet, but I'm only going to be actually using 4 bars, and that's strictly to save time. I don't really even need to tell you guys that. You may not even see that I'm only using 4, but just in case you notice, I want to let you know so nobody gets concerned. So, alrighty, let's get our supplies ready and 1 C-clip, and we can get started. To get started, you will need to have 2 bars wide of a setup, but for this design, I recommend you have 2 rainbow looms so that you can get 3 sets of 2. And what I mean by that is we're going to have 2 here, and then where the long blue base is, you're going to connect another 2 right in front of it, and then another 2 in front of that. So 6 bars will equal 2 looms, and that is because this is a tighter design, and it will get you a full-length bracelet if you're able to do that. If you only have 1 loom, which means you can only do 2 bars wide, it wouldn't work so much as a bracelet because it's really tiny, but you could make like a keychain or something like that. So the first thing we are going to do is pick the border. And that's going to be this blue here. I am going to use my yellow gold frost bands from Rainbow Loom. And the first thing I'm going to do is drop 1 single band right on this left pin for when we close it up later. Now this is called a fishtail border, which means we have to lay long stretched bands instead of the normal short ones. So we do lay a couple short ones to start with, so let me get that started first. We're going to lay one across the first 2, 1 normal one going up the right and left bar pin. So we lay all 3 of those as normal, push them down, and now we are going to do the long stretched straight bands, which is how we get the fishtail. So we're going to work on the right bar pin. From this corner where we started the last one, we're going to stretch this on and go up 2 more pins. So you can see it does a long stretch up to here. I have used this method before, by the way. So we are going to count that long one that we just laid as band number 1, and we will be laying a total of 37 of these long bands, which would take us down to the end of our loom. So to lay the next one, this is where our last band ended. Always back up 1 because we have to start in the middle of the last band we laid. So we will attach it there and stretch it up 2. Let me push this one out of the way, and you can see there's my second one. So as long as you take your time, you locate where it ended and back up 1, you should be okay. Just don't rush. So we are going to lay all these long stretched border bands. So you're still probably laying yours, but once your very last band ends at the top, then you're done laying them. So like I said, there should be 37 of them laid total, and you are not including the short one that we laid underneath right there. So only the long ones is what you're counting. Once you are done laying all those, you can push them down, or you can wait until you lay the other side. And now we're going to do the exact same process for the left side. So we already have our short one here. We're going to start on that same pin, and we're going to do a long stretch up 2. And we're going to do the exact same process. So we will back up 1, starting in the middle, and lay our next one. And just like the other side, we are going to lay 37 straight ones. And then once we get down to the end, there will be one more band that we're going to lay together, but I will show you that when we are all done this. Okay, so I have just laid my last one. If you're still laying yours, which you probably are, hit the pause button until your last one connected to the end of your loom. And then make sure you do push them down. I'm only going to push a couple down in the front for a second because we have one more band that we need to lay down here. So we're going to be laying a triangle band that connects the second to last from the left pin, the last, and the top right one. So if you're looking at your left bar pin and you have your finger on the last pin, back up 1. That is where you connect your band. You're going to connect it to the pin in front and stretch it over to the right. So it makes like a sideways kind of triangle. So that is all we're doing for the border. So take a second, push the rest of your bands down, and then we will come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. So now we're going to choose our crisscross band. The very first one that we lay is going to be what is gray on this one. And I'm going to use purple. And then where the pink is, I'm going to use fuchsia. So if you liked this style here, you would do exactly what I'm doing, except you will alternate between 3 colors. I'm going to be alternating between 2. This one alternates between 2, but they're laid differently, and I will tell you how to do that once we get a couple on, just so you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to lay my purple first, and we're going to be basically laying a bunch of X's. They kind of look like X's if you look at the loom sideways. But from this corner left bar pin, we're going to be doing a long diagonal stretch up to the second bar pin on the right. Then to cross over, wherever your diagonal band ended, you're going to back up 1, and that's where you start for your cross in the other direction. So now I'm going to lay my fuchsia, which is my second color. You're going to locate, we always start on the left bar pin when we start our crisscross. So you always locate where the last band is ended on the left bar pin, which is right here. Back up 1, and that's where your next one will start. So we will lay that diagonally up to the right. And then just like we did on the left side, locate where it ends, back up 1, and that's where you cross it over. So it looks like X's if you look at it like this, but the legs have, or the bottom have longer legs. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So if you wanted to do this type of pattern, where it kind of is like woven into each other, each row has its own color, all you would do is, we are making each X its own color. For this version, you would alternate in that X. So purple would be that diagonal, and then this direction would be fuchsia. So all of your bands going from left to right will be purple, and all of the bands going from right to left will be fuchsia. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I don't want to confuse anyone. So back to what we're doing. If you want to use another color, grab that right now. I am going back to my purple since I'm only using 2. As I said, we always start on the left bar pin. So this is where my last band ended on the left. So I'm going to back up and start my next one. We're going to cross that diagonally up to the right. We will back up a pin and cross it the opposite direction. With 2 colors, it is actually easier to see. because I am now in fuchsia and this is where my last fuchsia band is. So I know I just need to match that up and then cross it. But if you're not using the same color combination as me, that wouldn't work. This is where it ended. I'm going to back up and cross it the opposite direction. So I'm going to go back to my purple. This is where my last band ended on the left. So I'm going to back up one and start my next color. This is where it ended. Back up one and cross back over. So I do recommend just taking your time because I've made about 9 of these and 2 of the times, believe it or not, somehow I messed up. I don't know how because I do really take my time, but I did. I guess I ended up like laying it here to do the cross instead of backing up one. So really just take your time. So I end it with my purple. I'm going back to my fuchsia. And this is where it ended, so I'll back up one and start my purple. So yeah, this is what we're going to do all the way down the loom. So we are going to be laying a total of 36 sets. I call each X a set. And the reason I am telling you 36 is because we don't actually go all the way down the loom until the very end. Because of looping purposes and stuff, there is a reason we cannot go all the way down to the very end. So lay 36 of them. And then when I reach the end, I will show you exactly what mine looks like and how many pins should be open, just in case you weren't able to like count the X's for some reason. So don't worry, I'll make sure we're all on the same page. But I'm going to go ahead and get my X's laid. Okay, so hit the pause button until you have laid 36 or until you get close to the end of your loom. And then I am going to show you right now what it should look like once you reach the very end. So if you're looking at the left bar pin, my last band that anything is connected to is the second to last pin. So the very, very last pin should not have a diagonal band connected to it. It should look like this. On the right bar pin, there should be 2 without any diagonal bands connected to it. My last diagonal band is the third one up. So this is exactly what it should look like at the end. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it from this direction. So make sure yours looks like that. So now we're going to get ready to start the looping process. If you notice that the front of my loom is different, I did switch out this base with a shorter base just so we can see things a little better. But we're going to grab one more border color and we're going to place a cap band on the front left pin right here. We're just going to wrap it around 2 times, like so. So now we can start looping, and we don't loop in a traditional sense of looping. We're basically going to be like rearranging all of the crisscross bands. We're going to work with the right bar only for now, and the only bands that we're going to be working with are the diagonal bands that are facing down. So if you're looking at the right bar pin, all of these bands that are coming downwards are the bands that we're going to be working with. With the exception of the front 2, it will be the second band on every pin. That is the band that we're going to be grabbing. So what we're going to do is, starting on this second pin here, you do want to kind of hold it, or at least have your finger on top because there's nothing holding that band in. We're going to pick up this band, take it off the pin, and simply pull it towards yourself and reattach it to the pin below it. You're not doing any twisting or turning. You're simply taking it off and placing it 1 pin below. This is where we attached it. So you're going to back up 2 pins and we're going to go to the next diagonal band that's facing down. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick this up, take it off of the pin, pull it towards yourself, and connect it to the pin below. It's making that band stretch just a little bit longer, making it tighter. We're going to back up 2, and we're going to grab our next one. So now we have bands that we have to go into in order to grab it. Actually, it's just one band. So there's one purple band right here. You can see that my purple diagonal is right there. So just like we were doing before, you're just going to grab that band, carefully take it off of the pin, pull it towards yourself, and reattach it to the pin below. So that's what it's looking like. This is where we attached it. Back up 2. We're going to go inside that band right here and grab the diagonal band that's facing down. Carefully take it off the pin, pull it down towards yourself, and reattach. You just don't want to pull up too hard to where you pop this one off. So we're going to back up 2 and do the same thing. So all of our diagonal bands that are facing downwards in the direction of the right pin will be going down 1 pin. So keep backing up 2 and doing that. When we get to the very top of the loom, I believe the top 2 pins do not have any bands on there. So we do this until we have no more down facing diagonal bands. So just take your time, keep going back 2. Okay, so hit the pause button until you have reached the top of yours, because I'm going to finish before you did. The third pin up was the last diagonal band that we had to move down. As you can see, these top 2 do not have any more bands to pull down. So we are going to come back to the beginning of the loom, and we're going to do the same exact thing on the left side. So if you see over here, now that we're working on the left bar pin, we're still working with the diagonal bands that are facing down, but now they're going in the opposite direction. So my purple one is going like that. You can see my burgundy one right here, purple. And just like on the other side, with the exception of the first, I think it's just one. With the exception of the first one, we will always be grabbing the second band down on each pin. And we will be bringing it to the pin below. So on the left side, we need to go up 3 pins to locate our first diagonal down band, which is right here. There's only 1 band on this pin. We're going to pick it up and pull it towards yourself and reattach it without any twisting. Back up 2 and grab your next one. Pull it down 1 pin. Back up 2 and repeat. So it's exactly the same thing like we did on the other side. My camera, I have a long camera handle, and it keeps getting in the way of my loom. Or not my camera, but my tripod. So you're going to hit the pause button because you're going to finish before I do. When you're caught up, make sure the last band that we had to move down should have been the second to last pin. I already pulled it down to my third one. So as you can see, I have no more bands there that we need to pull down. And this is what it's looking like. Okay, so we are going to loop the border now. So starting in the front pin with our cap band, we're going to push the cap band out of the way. The top band that we're grabbing is going to be that triangle band that we laid. So you're going to grab the top band and you're going to bring it forward. It might look a little weird because, like I said, that band that we just put there is part of that triangle band. But this just helps the ending closure look a little better. So we'll go back into that first pin. And the next band down, which there's only one more left, is going to go to the right. Like that. And now it doesn't matter which border you do first, the right or the left bar pin. I am just going to do the left first. So we're going to go into the first pin right here. You're just going to move, there's only one band here to move out of the way. Grab your bottom border, which is my yellow, and just bring it forward. Then you go into that band, or that pin, move the top band out of the way. Make sure you're grabbing the very bottom, and loop it forward. So this part is pretty easy in my opinion. All we're doing is grabbing the bottom band and looping it straight up. My loom is like flipping up because it's so tight. Especially using the round bands, it makes it even worse. I will warn you guys, when you go to pull it off of the loom, do it section by section and take your time, because I almost smacked myself in the face with the loom when I was pulling it off. I haven't even tried to use my hook, but I'm sure that would work. But yeah, take your time and don't get hit in the face with your loom. So loop this border all the way into the top. Make sure you get the second to last pin. Bring that up. We are not going to loop this one going inwards yet. There's one band right here. We will do that at the very end. So after you've reached the top of your left side, you're going to do the identical process on the right side. So this time there are 3 bands that you have to move out of the way on the bottom right. Grab the bottom band and loop it up. Go into the next one. There's one band there. Grab the bottom. I have no worry that everyone will know what to do here, because I'm sure we've all looped borders. Okay, so I just looped my second to last pin up. This part, do not forget to do this because your bracelet will fall apart. We have to go back into the left top pin, and we're going to bring that bottom band into the right, like that. And now we had that loose band that we laid there at the beginning for closing it up. Hold on to it with one hand, and then go down and grab the other end. And bring both ends together. And this is where we're going to put our C-clip. So like I said earlier, be careful taking this off. I use limited edition bands, so it's much tighter than normal. Okay, so I was struggling to get mine off. So when you take it off, the side that was facing you in the loom is actually the back side. I wish it would stay open on that side because the weave looks super cool. But the front side is actually on this side, so you have to flip it over. And you will definitely need to stretch your bracelet out, especially after taking it off of the loom. Things get like pulled and stretched out. Now what you can also do with this bracelet is stretch it left to right, which I love. So, and the only reason I do this is just to help things fall into place in case they got tugged and pulled on. But if you do stretch it left to right, make sure you pull it up and down again. You can also bend it in to get it to pop out a little bit. So your bracelet is going to be a full-length bracelet because we did 3 full looms, but I did not. But I love how this looks. I think it looks super beautiful. So obviously you will just locate your cap band down here. You may need to give it a little pull. Sometimes these end bands stick out a little bit, but if you pull the cap band, it can help hide them. But you're just going to connect your C-clip to that, which I'm not going to do. But that is it, you guys. That is how you create my crisscross bracelet. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too hard either. I think it looks really cool, and you can definitely play around with all the color choices. I want to give another thank you to Christy for choosing the Kris-Cross name. Thank you, Sophia, for watching and being a supporter. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys out there watching. So don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you make one, and I will see you all really soon at my next tutorial. Thank you, guys. Bye.